Dev, first of all, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank
You
you so
just
much
told
for having
me that you were traveling around the world for the presentation of your movie. A little tired?
I'm running on fumes right now, but it's so exciting, you know, to make a tiny project and to be touring around the world and getting such a great reception. We're very lucky, yeah.
Excellent. But to start this little discussion, tell us a little bit about your life.
My life?
Your life. Where were you born and raised, and when did you start to think to become an actor?
I was born in northwest London in a tiny place called Rayners Lane.
Yeah.
And acting was always a dream, but it was very distant. It felt like something that was very unattainable from where I came from. And I have a powerhouse of a mother. You know, she's a force of nature. And I think with her resilience and her vision, I was very lucky to be guided into this career. So I owe a lot to her.
So actually it was her idea.
Well, I always loved it. I'm a guy who was in school and had a very, very short attention span. So my brain was lent to doing something more physical than it was sitting down at a table and writing. So I was always known as the entertainer and the class clown. So one of the teachers was like, we need to take that hyperactivity and put it on the stage. And from that day on, when I was a young kid, I did a Shakespeare play called Twelfth Night.
Yeah.
And I won an award in school. From that day on, I could see in her eyes, she was like, all right, this is what I want my son to do.
Excellent. I need to ask you that question about Slumdog Millionaire. I'm really sorry. I know that question was asked. Yeah, I'm sorry. But tell us a story. How did you got that part in that movie?
So this is a direct link to my mother, because she was traveling to work on the train one day, and there's a free newspaper called the Metro, and in the back there was a small article, and it was an open audition, kind of like American Idol, a new teenage drama on E4, no acting experience necessary, blah, blah, blah. And she tore it out the day before my science exam was this audition. And she told me the morning of that, I'm going to take you to central London to the National Youth Theatre, and we're going to audition for this show. She didn't know what it was about or what was going to happen. We've never done anything like this before. And I thought she was insane. We had this massive argument, being a resilient child who doesn't want to really do anything. And we went, I took my studying on the train, I was in my school uniform, and we queued outside, and I was number 740 something. And, you know, I walked in and did my thing, and from that, I got cast straight away in this show called Skins. And then from that, Danny Ball's daughter saw me in Skins, and that's how I got to audition for him and get into Slumdog.
My goodness, what a story. I know you a little bit now since a couple of years, and I really feel when I see you in movies, it's you. It's really natural. And I'm asking myself every time, do you make any effort when you actually act?
You know what? Off screen, there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes in, you know? I think the day before you start any project, there's a million thoughts running through your head. You know, you don't feel worthy of the part. You feel there's a million other people that can do what you can do. And the preparation is very crucial, but I think the honesty is what I want to find in my work always. I want to be able to be attainable to the everyman. And I want people to be able to aspire to me and understand what I'm trying to tell them, because the whole point of what we do is we're portraying humanity. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make people escape and tell stories that are relevant and, you know, real. So that's what I try and do, is try and be humble and honest in what I do.
Well, you do it very, very well, that's for sure.
Thanks.
We've mentioned Danny Boyle, so you have been working with amazing directors and writer, also John Maiden. Is there anybody you really want to work with, like Spielberg, I don't know, Scorsese,
yeah, why
Woody
not?
Allen?
Chuck them all in there. All the above. Dream director would probably be Alejandro González Iñárritu. He did Birdman recently.
Absolutely.
21 Grams.
Yeah.
He's got this very raw, kind of gritty style of filmmaking. I like that earthiness. I like being pushed to a maximum, a limit. So that would be exciting.
Okay, we'll send him an email on that so that he's aware. As you know, we're here in Dubai also as IWC, because we give prizes away. We try to support young actors, young talents, and we'll give a prize away to a project here for the Middle East. Was there anybody, or you know, besides your mother, who supported you when you were a young actor?
I've got to say, when you the big shift, the tectonic shift that happens as a child, you go from being a kid in school where you feel like no one's understanding you or listening to you, And then the first day you land on a film set, you're surrounded by adults. Everyone was older than me. I was 16 years old. And these adults, these people that had worked on great projects and great creative heads and artists, they asked me for my opinion for the first time. And it actually mattered. And that was a big turning point for me, because responsibility was bestowed upon me. And that made me grow up very quickly. So I kind of come from the University of Life in a way. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really important that people have role models like I did. Danny Ball. I discovered India really with Danny Ball, a big part of my heritage. I went to India with Slumdog Millionaire, and I saw things that you would never see in a package trip, a holiday. And it's broadened my mind to my culture and my heritage and everything. So I think it's really important to have role models.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about your latest movie, which will be shown here in Dubai, The Man Who Knew Infinity. And coming back to school, how good were you in mathematics?
The irony is that I'm terrible at mathematics. That was the one subject that I was constantly being expelled from, because I couldn't understand it. And also my father's an accountant, which makes it even more embarrassing. So when this script landed on my lap and I had the opportunity to play the world's greatest mathematician, that was something that I wanted to do, live vicariously through him,
Did you understand anything you had to draw on a paper or on the board?
Look, man, a lot of it went over my head. We have an amazing mathematician called Ken Ono, who's one of the best there is today. And he was an advisor for us. And he taught us about the symmetry within the equations. So even if you don't understand the complexity, because these men are dancing with numbers into the hundreds of millions in their minds. They're human calculators. So for us, if you want to, there's a scene in the film where my character completes an equation on a whiteboard before the teacher has even written out the question. He's so smart. So it was a very long equation, and I had to learn the symmetry between the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, then below that, and you square all those, and once I understood that, I could do it. So yeah, lots of mimicry was involved.
So obviously you have been playing in comedies, you have been playing in a mathematician. Is there any play or role you would like to to engage with, like, I don't know, the new Terminator, Captain America, something like that?
Captain India.
Captain India,
Why don't we start that?
Okay.
I don't know. I love those big films, but I got to say it's the smaller projects that I'm drawn towards, because there's an intricacy to it, like watchmaking, and that's what is exciting to me, is being more connected to the idea and looking at the nuances of everything. So in a big film, things get blown out, and you become less and less relevant in the process. Yeah. So it's all about the story for me.
Well, let's try to talk a little bit about any new project you can talk about. Will there be a kind of third part of the Marigold Hotel?
Oh, man.
Or what
if we were so lucky. I think we've got to let that one rest now.
Okay.
But that was an amazing journey. In terms of the future, I just voiced a Japanese animation called, by one of the most famous anime houses called Studio Ghibli. And that was a big privilege for me, because they've won many Oscars and things like that. And I've got a film coming out early next year called Lion, with Nicole Kidman, Rooney Mara, and it's under the Harvey Weinstein and all those kind of things, and it's a beautiful film with many of the same themes like Slumdog, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to finish that little talk, whereby you have to complete a question I'm going to ask you.
All right, here we go.
And
all right, let me take some water.
Since we are with IWC, we just have 60 seconds, and so you see here. Look. So we need to time that. That's the our Portuguese chronograph. Again, let's try to do this quickly. 10 questions in 60 seconds.
Here we go. Let's rock and roll.
Are you ready?
I am. I hope so.
If I had not become an actor, I would have become a...
architect or real estate.
I wish I could make a trip to...
Japan.
Acting is...
Honesty.
Life is all about...
being curious.
My favorite movie is...
Enter the Dragon.
I would never go out without...
My watch, this baby right
Thank
here.
God. Dubai is...
Overwhelming.
My advice to young actor is...
Develop from the negatives.
I wish I was casted for.
No regrets.
Tête-à-tête meal with.
Ayrton Senna, probably.
If I could meet a historical figure or person from the past, I would be.
Another one. As my favorite films, Enter the Dragon, probably Bruce Lee.
Dev Patel, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Did we make it? I hope so.
Yeah. 56 seconds.
Nice.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you.
Welcome to the best exotic marigold hotel.
It's going to be an absolute game changer for journalists of our generation.